Good afternoon, everyone. Mayor Wilder here from the Office of the Mayor, City of North Canton. Hope you're all doing well in this trying times that we're facing right now. I just wanted to come to you today, try to give you some brief updates on what has been going on in our city, but also around us and in the state. Just tidbits of useful information, I hope. I'm going to do this in no particular order, but I do want to thank you right up front from what I've seen in just the last few days with the stay-at-home order issued by the Ohio Department of Health and endorsed, of course, by Governor Mike DeWine. And I'm seeing improvements in that and appreciate your cooperation. And we'll talk about that just a little bit later. But I just want to bring you up to date on a few things that came down recently from our state legislature. On the 26th of March, we did receive some information. It's an omnibus amendment, and it's for House Bill 197, and it just addressed a few things that a couple of things that we have going already. Again, it prohibits public water disconnections, so I just want to reassure you that. We did that 2 weeks ago, but just keep in mind, somewhere along the line, those disconnects or payments will still be needed to keep our water and our water treatment plant going. I just want to lay it out there for you, but we've had no disconnections, but we understand there will be things in the future that we'll have to address on continuing payment plans or payments for keeping our water system going. I know in my previous live stream, we talked about suspending council. It's been decided now that the boards, commissions, and local and county governments and their higher education boards to operate meetings electronically, so long as the public is aware and can participate electronically. Therefore, we are going to have a council meeting on Monday, and that is March the 3rd. It'll be at 7 o'clock. Information will be posted. 30. Did I say?
You said third.
Third, excuse me. March the 30th, folks. We're going to have our council meeting. So, again, March 30, 30. And those notifications will be going out. Just a couple other things. There were changes made, all due to the federal government moving the tax filing deadline from April 15th to July 15th. I just wanted to share that with you so that you're aware for your taxes. And of course, there is an extension for our absentee voting by mail from March 17th, 2020, primary election to April the 28th, 2020. And you can go online and very easily pull up an absentee registration or application form. I did that today for myself and my wife. So we'll be going to be doing that soon. Some things regard for the city. Just want to share with you again. Local and county government, we're been granted to operate electronically, and as long as we make you aware and do our best to encompass participation electronically. For our parks, again, thank you. I've driven around the city on a number of occasions. Our parks are being, signs are up about no playground activity, and for the most part, I haven't seen anyone on our playgrounds. Our tennis court is still open, and the pickleball is still open. Again, folks, all I'm asking you to do is keep in mind your social distancing in using those park facilities. We did have to close the basketball courts just because of the closeness there that is exchanged when you're playing basketball. Hopefully you're practicing good social distancing when you are at the pickleball court or playing tennis. Again, the people I saw at the pickleball court also were people that were of age, I would say, that could be affected by the COVID-19. Just keep that in mind. Our building and zoning permits, our community connections are still open. We're operating, I checked with our superintendents over there. We haven't had any glitches with that. So again, those things are open and online, and communication and transmission of information and getting things still going for businesses. For our fire department, checked again with Chief Bacon. Our squads are responding as they should, based on really appreciate the good communication that our dispatching service is providing for our first responders, for police and fire. Whoever is calling in is giving specific information, whether it's signs of COVID or they need some other kind of aid or assistance from police or fire. Our dispatchers are getting that in detail. Thank you for doing that, and it's certainly helping our people when they respond. There have been a couple occasions where our paramedics had to suit up for protection, using their personal protection equipment, and those were just safeguards that were in place, not only for them, but for the people that they're dealing with. So thank you again for being clear on what you need. The fire, or checked with Chief Kemp at the police department. Calls seem to be down a little bit, which is good. But there again, we are there to serve you. And if you can handle anything over the phone, great. If it's necessary that you have to walk in, we have protocols in place. Our own social distancing in dealing with or handling or responding to our citizens when they're coming in. Finance, should be no issues there that we're experiencing. Again, we're equipped to do some things remotely if we have to, but I can't thank Gina Alabach and her staff for doing a great job in continuing monitoring our finances at this time of for our city. Our water treatment plant, again, our operations are going smoothly out there. Our operators are in place. There again, we're watching everyone's health and safety for all our employees, regardless of what they're engaged in. But our water treatment plant is running very smoothly. And our service street department, normal operations in regards to repairs as we go along, and just keeping things up to date. With the spring changing and the weather changing, it's going to require our people to still be out trying to maintain safety and health and safety issues for our citizens. You're going to see an article that might come up in our town, and I entitled that article this time for the message from the mayor, "Begin with the end in mind." And when this coronavirus started, and as I listened to our Governor Mike DeWine and Ohio Department of Health Director Dr. Amy Acton, I think I can see what they're thinking, because how do we end this? Where are we going to end? Where are we going to be when we end this coronavirus and this COVID-19 crisis that we're facing? And I think what they're thinking is this, just as I said, begin with the end in mind. In other words, start with a clear understanding of what the goal and realize the steps needed to reach that goal. Where our goal is to be healthy and back to getting the normal, going to school, our family, our faith activities, going back to business. And how are we going to get there? Well, you know what, folks? It's just the things that they've been talking about. No major changes in that stay-at-home order. It's washing one's hands. It's maintaining social distance, practicing self-hygiene. And people who are sick, just, you should stay at home. But most of all, think of those things, because this is us time as our community, where we need our community to become active in our own self-control in following the Ohio Department of Health stay-at-home. It's our control. It's how we're going to control our destiny. Where do we want to be at the end of all this? We want to get back to a sense of normalcy and get back to a sense of being able to live the lives that we've been so fortunate to have in this community, or let alone when we travel in and around the United States. So confronting this coronavirus involves all of us, and it's in our control so that we can protect one another. Now, businesses need to follow the list of business at the stay-at-home order. You can get this form. You can print it right off their website. But again, it's a list of essential businesses that apply to the stay-at-home order signed in Ohio. So if you have questions about that, remember, this is also a guideline that was adapted from the Department of Homeland Security. So if you think you're a non-essential or essential business, it spells it out fairly clearly. I know there's some gray areas, but you think about what's going to be best for your employees and what's going to be best for your business. And there again, I think our leadership and our state are trying to balance things out the best that they can so that we can still have some sense of normalcy, but yet know that we need to combat this coronavirus spread. If there's questions that you need to be asked, you can just go to coronavirus.ohio.gov, and they have a wonderful, well, they have a good website that can answer a number of your questions, especially the frequently asked questions. And also talking about anxiety and things like this that might be affecting people and children. But it's very simple. I'm not going to go through this, but you know, I looked at this over myself. These are frequently asked questions at home, at the stay at home, frequently asked. And it covers a number of things about whether you can go out, go grocery shopping, and things like that. So when does the order take effect? Well, it took effect March Monday. Is the mandatory or just guidance? No, you know what, this order is mandatory. And it's to help further the spread of, to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in Ohio and protect our friends and neighbors and our vulnerable populations. So again, it's asking us to please stay at home. Just monitor yourself, watch your health. I've been out and visited our grocery stores. Their protective partitions are up to separate the patron from the cashier. And from what I could tell, the supplies are coming into our stores. Some of their hours have been adjusted, but I've seen people out walking, exercising, just maintaining your social distance, okay, with everybody. The other thing too is, just to finish up, what I noticed when I was at the several of our grocery stores here in North Canton, what I saw was a patron walking out with only 1 or 2 items. And I'm thinking, is that really the nature of what the stay-at-home order is allowing? I'm just going to suggest, folks, if you can, make a list so that you can go out and get everything at one time to help limit your exposure or the exposure from other people. I think that's one thing that we can at least control and do for our own safety and protection. You don't have to just go out and get hopefully, a jug of iced tea, okay, or a bag of potato chips or something like that, or even to play a lottery card at one of the machines. I'd really be hesitant to do those things, but just think about how we can help each other, and maybe just doing that one thing of making a list, going to the groceries. I understand if your medications run out, things like that, but let's just start preparing, because again, I think our doctors and our governor are very right on as they're thinking ahead. It could be well into May till we get past this thing, or get past a certain level on the curve. But I would say be prepared that we might be in this for a little longer run than we anticipated. So be patient. Try to get along with everybody, all right? And all I can say is thank you for what you're doing to make our city safe. Just limit your exposure and use common sense. Just do your best to stay well, keep safe. I thank you for your confidence in our city government. Our people here are working extra hours at times just to make sure that our operations are running smoothly and they're answering the concerns of our citizens. I can't be more prouder of being in this role as your mayor for the city of North Canton, and what you are doing for us to help each other get through this crisis. Because together, working together, we're going to do this. And so again, think of the end. What steps can we be doing to make sure that we have a safe end to this? So thank you very much, and just stay safe, be well. Thank you for your time.